Okay, so most of you guys that watch my videos, you know that I like to put instructions up. And this is for a couple of reasons. You might have lost them. You might have gotten a good deal on one on eBay. Maybe it wasn't complete. Maybe it was missing the instructions. You could also be thinking about buying it, but just want a little more information. So that's why I decided to put the instructions in just about everything that I show you guys. This Playmobile USS Enterprise, I'm going to make this video. This is going to be a little bit different. There is a lot of steps into putting this together. And what I want to do is I want to make kind of an introduction video for you guys. So this is going to be the introduction of the USS Enterprise by Playmobile. And what I want to do is I want to go over the instructions with you. And I think it's like 42 or 43 pages of instructions. So it is pretty intense. And what's the word? You're going to have to really concentrate on putting it together. There's a lot of detail-oriented pieces. But let's go over the instructions with you guys. This is for Playmobil, Star Trek the Original Series, USS Enterprise, NCC 1701. And this is product number 70548. And the first page of the manual has Mr. Spock in the upper right-hand corner. And it has a finished picture of the USS Enterprise on it. The next page has a picture of the USS Enterprise, the model, the finished model is coming at you. You can see the sections that are going to light up. You got the two Bassard collectors. You got the bridge. You've got some windows on the saucer section. Those three iconic windows in the front of the saucer section. The next page, we see the characters that actually come with it. And there's a little information. Beam me up, Scotty. Discover the impressive USS Enterprise NCC 1701 in a whole new light with the interactive Star Trek AR app from Playmobile. You can see the figures that are listed. From left to right, we have Dr. Leonard McCoy, and it looks like he's holding a medical device. We've got Commander Pavel Chekhov. We've got Nyota Uhura. And let's see, is she holding? It doesn't look like she's holding anything. We have Captain James T. Kirk. He's holding a phaser. We have First Officer Mr. Spock, and it looks like he's got a tricorder around his neck. We got Hikaru Sulu, and it looks like he's got a hand phaser. And lastly, we have Montgomery Scott, and he appears to be holding a communicator. The next page shows Captain Kirk up in the right-hand corner, and there are different sections of the ship once it's assembled, and there are numbers. You've got the bridge, and that'll be numbered 1, and you've got the rear section of the bridge, and that'd be number 2. Number 3, it looks like would be engineering behind the deflector dish. Number 4 would be a port, USB port. Number 5 would be the engineering. So let me show you guys, or tell you guys about these areas. Number 1 would be a smartphone can be placed horizontally in front of the main monitor to enjoy, for example, movies and graphics via one's phone. Number 2, the workstations are arranged in the original 6 new chairs that are included, which can be placed freely. Number 3, with original sounds and dialogue from the series. Number 4, with the USB-C port, serves as an alternative power supply. Number 5, as a prerequisite for activating the complete light and sound electronics, a dilithium core must be inserted into the container and then pushed into the designed position or designated position in the engine room. We go to another page, and we have more numbers. Again, we got Captain Kirk in the upper right-hand corner, and this is 6, 7, and 8. And number 6, the main console of the bridge. Pressing each of these 3 buttons of the center console triggers a sound and light sequence. The blue button, you hear the warp drive. The red button, you hear the red alert or alarm. And the black button is the photon torpedo. Number 7 can be placed on a stand or hung up using an included hanging device. And number 8, simply pair your USS Enterprise NCC 1701 from Playmobile with the 3 functional Star Trek AR apps. Then join the crew on the Enterprise as they venture into galaxies no one has been before. Your digital Star Trek experience will wow effect, and the wow effects await you. So that's page 7, showing you guys what the numbers are representing. As we go over, you see the choking hazard. Warning, contains small ball and small parts, not for children under 3 years. And you can see Captain Kirk. He's got a hand phaser. Mr. Spock, he has the small tricorder bag. And Dr. McCoy has the small medical tool. Lieutenant Uhura, I'm not sure what she has. I can't tell what that is, unless it's just pointing to her dress. And let's see, we've got the communicator that's in 2 small parts that Mr. Scott will hold. And Mr. Sulu doesn't appear to have anything, but he was pictured with a phaser, I think, and Commander Pavel Chekhov. So it shows the small parts that the figures are going to have, including the figures themselves, which are also going to be choking hazards for children. Moving over to page 9, we've got the assembly instruction, and you can see we're putting the impulse engines on to the saucer section. And you can see the sticker that's going to go on a view screen, and it's the looks like a D7 Klingon battlecruiser. Going over to the next page, we have the stickers that are going to be going on all the consoles that surround the Enterprise bridge. You can see the areas that are going to go on the wall, the back wall, and on the surface. Moving on, you can see the completed, where the stickers are on all of the areas that they need to be, and you can see the completed section going down into the saucer section, and you can see the little view screen monitors going on top. On to page 12, you can see where they appear to be windows on screen, but they have the blue backgrounds that are going to go on the walls surrounding the areas of the bridge. Page 13 has those assembled pieces being put down into the saucer section, and you can see the addition of the port, starboard, and the clear running lights or beacons. Page 14, you can see where it has what looks like a door that's going to go on the bottom below the view screen. And it appears to be something that snaps into place that's going to go and possibly hold the turbo lift doors in place. Page 15, you can see there's more stickers that are going to go on. And these are peel and stick. You can see the lights, various stickers that go on the bottom. There's quite a few of them. As well as the 2 beacons, the clear beacons that go on the bottoms, on port and starboard. And we move on to page 16. We're up to step 8, and you can see this is where we start to insert these square pieces that are going to lock all the pieces into place. And you can see the addition of the deflector dish. Part 17, you can see where we click the secondary hull into place onto the primary hull. Moving on to step 10, we have the formation of the stand. Step 11, a continuation, and that's page 18. Moving on to step 12 and page 19, you can see where we actually put the primary and secondary hull on to the stand, make it easier to work on. There are also 2 screws that are going to go into place behind where the turbo lift door is going to be. Page 20, we're up to step 13, and you can see there are 3 steps in step 13. You got the console where Mr. Chekhov and Mr. Sulu sit, and then you have the captain's chair. You can see the pieces that go into place, and then we take the console and the captain's chair and we put it into that section, and there are electronics in that section as well. Step 14, you can see where we put that down into the saucer section, and we run the wire through the turbo lift area down through the saucer pylon, and comes out where the engineering is going to be. Step 15, we put the handrails in place, those iconic handrails that are around the bridge. And then step 16, we move on to the nacelle pylons. You can see those little connector pieces, little yellow connector pieces are going to be put into place. And we have stickers that are going to go on the nacelle pylons themselves, those rectangle areas. And you can see where they're going to have us run the wire through, and they give you the approximate measurements to send everything through to the nacelle, from nacelle down through the nacelle pylon into the secondary hull, and coming out through the engineering area where they'll be powered. Moving on to step 18, this is where we're going to attach the nacelle pylons to the secondary hull. Going to run the wires through to the engineering section, and you can see where they're going to meet, the one coming from the bridge. Page 26 has steps 19 and 20, and you can see put the batteries in and the battery cap, and you can see the actual dilithium crystal chamber that's going to go in. And step 20, you can see the screen for the engineering, and it's putting everything into place. And you can see those 2 pieces that are going to go to either side of the dilithium crystal chamber. Moving on to step 21, you can see more of the wires, and they're going to start to come together and click into place. The engineering section is going to be what powers everything. And you can see everything clicking into place. Part 2, you can see where you're going to take a little bit of slack for the wires that are going to be coming from the engineering section. Part 3, you're going to click it into place. And part 4, the little thing that we put in front onto the floor in front of, or just behind the turbo lift doors, you can see that's going to hold the wire. So moving on to page 28, you can see we're up to step 22, and we're going to be using putting the panel in for the engineering section, and the sticker that's going to go on the turbo lift door to make them look like they're open, as well as the stickers, the plaque, and that iconic Enterprise shape that's on the left side to the left of the doors, as the opening up to the bridge from the turbo lift. Step 23, you can see the panel that's got the turbo lift doors that are open on it that's going to click into place. And you can see the engineering panel that's going to click into place as well. Moving on to page 30, we've got step 24, and that is the nacelles. You can see where the stickers are going to go. And then step 25, you can see the nacelles. You pass the wire up through and bring them out to the front where the Bassard collectors are going to be. You do that for the port and the starboard sides. And step 26 has 3 steps as well. You can see you take the wire that came from the nacelle and you click it into the back of the Bussard collector. And when you push it into place, you rotate it clockwise to lock it into place. You do that for both sides. And then move on to step 27 and 28, which is on page 33. And you can see the stickers that go on the top of the saucer section that's surrounding B and C decks where the bridge area is. And then 28, you can see putting in the windows and the clear parts that are going to be for the bridge area. Step 29, you can see, is where you put the bridge area over the opening for the bridge on top of the saucer pylon, primary hull. And then you've got the secondary hull panel going on to cover engineering. And by this point, the ship will look pretty complete. And over to page 35, you can actually see where the little pieces that would go for the little chairs, those awesome little chairs that surround the bridge at the stations. And then you have a plaque, U.S.S. Enterprise plaque, and it shows how to put that together. And you have the bottom where you could put the smartphone into the place of the view screen. Smartphone is not included in this packaging, so they put that in. So you probably knew that, but they put it in anyway. But that's a cool little feature to be able to put the smartphone in and have them watching the screen like that. And you can see the bottom of the primary hull and the impulse engines, the two nacelles, and the Starfleet logo, the Delta logo, in the back where the turbo lift doors are, kind of the beginning of the parts list. So page 36 has more of the parts list. You can see the bridge area, B and C decks. You can see the secondary hull with the panel that's going to go on there to cover engineering. And you've got the two pieces that are going to go in the front of the stand. And you have the bottom of the stand, the ring, where the Delta insignia is going to sit in. And you've got the nacelle pylons. And you have the parts of the bridge. You have the console and you have the windows that surround the bridge. And it looks like there are a couple of pieces there to help hang the ship into place, like a hook, for those two last pieces. Moving on to page 37, we can see more. You can see that there are the little hook-like ropes that'll help pass everything through. And then you have the wire. You can see the dilithium crystal chamber, the floor of the bridge. You got a couple of Bussard collectors, the railings, the captain's chair is in two pieces. You can see the navigation console, the deflector dish. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 6 different tribbles, which is pretty cool. You can put them on the bridge or in engineering. And you got the dilithium crystal itself, part 2X30084033. That's pretty cool. You can see the small miscellaneous pieces, the beacons, port, starboard, and those little connector pieces, among many. Page 38, you can see where, with the batteries in, the different functions that it has. And it shows you that with the dilithium crystals in, the ship will function, and without them, it will not. You can see the little sad faces. If the dilithium crystal is gone or the chamber is gone, it won't function. You can see some of the things that it does. And you can see you can also power it with the USB cord that is not included. And you can see on the bottom of the on and off switch that can activate everything. So moving on to page 39, you can see what the buttons on a console will do. And it also has a warning. This toy produces flashes that may trigger epilepsy in sensitized individuals. So that's good to know with the flashing lights and everything. So you can see the blue button all the way on the left-hand side of the middle part of the console. When you push it, you hear the Enterprise go into warp. And the middle one, the red button, it goes into red alert. You can hear the alarm. And when you push the black all the way to the right, you can hear the photon torpedo blast. So moving on to page 40, shows you different things to use and the types of batteries. It's suggested using regular batteries, not rechargeable. Page 41, you can see where you can use an Android iPhone X. It shows you the different iPhones that you can use with this. You can actually use the iPad as well. And it has some more warnings. Please ask your parents to help you download the app. So this is geared toward kids. I don't know how many kids are going to be having this and how many adults. I don't know that data, but it'd be interesting to see. Moving on to page 42. You can see when you had put the screws in to the area behind the turbo lift doors. It shows how you can hang the Starship with those plastic kind of strings that it came with, and you hook into the hanger. And you have the beacons and the turbo lift doors and the impulse engines. Page 43, or part 2 of that, you can see where you're going to start to put that fish line through, and you're going to be able to actually anchor it. And you do this if you want to hang the model up. Page 44 is step 3. You can see where it goes up through, and where the wires would come out, and the wires that you need to use, and the ones that will actually take the weight of the ship. You can see it's only the saucer section that gets the strings. And part 4, you can see on page 45 the final instructions for hanging the ship. And page 46, environmental protection. Your appliance contains valuable materials which can be recovered or recycled. Moving on to the last page, you got the different links, the full text of the Declaration of Conformity available, and it shows you the link to go to. That's page 47. And finally, the last page, you can see Mr. Spock, or the little figure of Mr. Spock. Explore the legendary starship with its iconic bridge and engineering. Interact with her famous crew featuring Captain Kirk, Spock, Uhura, McCoy, Sulu, Scotty, and Chekhov. Have fun recreating iconic scenes from the original series show, or set off on new adventures. And that's the last page of the instructions. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, this quick video, going through the instruction sheets with you guys. Like I said, those of you may have it, may not have the instructions. Those of you may not have it yet, and you're thinking about it and wondering what it entails to put it together. I hope this satisfied your curiosity, and I'll be showing you a little more in-depth video on this model coming up really soon. So until then, I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.